HarperCollins and Harper Audio present No Surrender, Young Readers Edition, A Father, a Son, and an Extraordinary Act of Heroism, by Chris Edmonds and Douglas Century, with Winifred Conkling. Read by James Lurie. Part 1. Putting the Pieces Together. 1. Shadows. 3 hours before dawn on Thanksgiving Day 2005, I startled from a peaceful sleep. I was sweating, murmuring the words of my late father Roddie, which flooded my mind with confusion. I had been dreaming about his World War II journals, neatly written in pencil script. No one can realize the horrors the infantry soldier goes through, he wrote. You get scared, and I mean scared. Don't let anyone tell you that he wasn't scared. Those words surprised me. I had never seen my dad afraid of anything. He was fearless. He had a quiet faith in God that made him seem invincible. Dad always marched to the beat of faith, hope, and love, but never fear. Not once in all the years I knew him. What could have happened to make Dad so afraid? My dad had served in the infantry in Europe during World War II. He hit the beaches of France several months after the initial D-Day landings, slogged through freezing rain and mud in the fall of 1944, and fought in the icy forests of Belgium during the brutal Battle of the Bulge, the last major German offensive on the Western Front. He spent the final months of the war as a POW, a prisoner of war, in Ziegenhain, a tiny town in central Germany. I didn't know much more about Dad's service during World War II. Like a lot of members of the Greatest Generation, he never discussed the grisly details of the war. Almost everything I knew I had learned from history books. Now, wide awake, I sat up in bed thinking about Dad. It was a chilly morning in Maryville, Tennessee. The temperature was slightly below freezing. I looked at my wife, Regina, who was still asleep beside me, just as she had been every night for the past 28 years. I pulled the comforter over her shoulder to protect her against the chill. I went to the bathroom and splashed cold water on my face. I stared into the mirror and asked myself, why didn't I ask Dad more questions about the war before he died? I had been thinking about my father's wartime experiences since the previous evening. Just after dinner, my daughter Lauren had arrived home from Maryville College, where she and her identical twin sister Kristen were earning their degrees in education. Lauren was excited to tell us about her new history project. Her group was to prepare an oral history of a family member who had led a noteworthy life. Dad, when I told my group that Papa was a POW in World War II, they said he was definitely the story, even though he's no longer alive, Lauren said. What do you think? I told Lauren I thought it was a great idea. If I were you, I'd begin with his wartime journals, I said. Nana has them tucked away somewhere in her house. I told her I had read them several times, but her papa never talked about the war. Not even to Nana? No, not even to Nana. Later, I thought about Lauren's newfound excitement about her grandfather. Lauren was born in 1985, 6 months before her papa Roddie died. She didn't know much about him. 2 peas in a pod, Dad said when the twins were born. I can't tell them apart. And they're joining our third little pea, big sister Alicia Marie. My 3 girls were inseparable as they grew up in the 80s and 90s. They excelled at school, played house, and collected Barbies. When they were a bit older, they became athletes, taking up cheerleading, gymnastics, softball, basketball, and volleyball.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?